Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to show you some of the biggest kick serve myths, and we're going to start off with the idea that we should let the ball drop on a kick serve lower than we would, for example, on a flat serve. And this stems from the idea that we're supposed to hit up on a kick serve. So people think that by letting the ball drop lower we have more range of motion to hit up. So the idea is that a lower contact will allow us to hit up further, therefore imparting more kick on the serve. And I covered the subject of hitting up on a kick serve in great detail in my hit up or down on a kick serve video, and it is absolute fact that we are hitting down on a kick serve, because if you take a look at the trajectory of the ball is traveling downwards. There's absolutely no way that we can hit a serve that's going to travel up and then down, for example, like we do on a ground stroke. See, on a forehand topspin ball, the ball goes up and then down. We have to hit the serve, however, inside the service line. There's absolutely no space to hit the ball up and then down that's going to land inside the service line. This is simply not possible. The only way you will be able to do that if you tap the ball in. Now it's flying up and then down, but as soon as we put more speed on the serve, if we're indeed hitting up, this will send the ball way past the service line. And hitting up or down on a kick serve is something that you don't have to worry about. In fact, you don't have to worry about hitting up or down on any serve for that matter. And the reason is that that part of the serve happens in milliseconds. And naturally, if you execute all the fundamentals of the serve correctly, the movement is going to be down. Now, interestingly, on a kick serve, the racket does travel up, and this has to do with the angle of the racket face at contact. So while our whole system is going down, the racket will travel slightly upwards, imparting kick on the ball. But since the entire system is going down, this is how we achieve a downward trajectory, even on a kick serve. That's very necessary for us to be able to get the ball inside the service line. So if you try to let the ball drop lower on your toss in order to hit up on the serve, you will first of all not be able to get the ball inside the service box, because indeed you will be hitting up from this position to this position. So what you need to do instead, if you want to have any chances to get your kick serve consistently inside the service line, you need to have full extension at the moment of contact. And there's a minuscule difference between a flat serve contact and a kick serve contact. Let me show you. This is a flat serve contact. You can see where I meet the ball there, and now here is a kick serve contact. So the difference is that on a flat serve, the racket is more positioned vertically towards the sky, and on a kick serve is more positioned to the side. So the difference is from here to here. So we're talking about maybe 1 centimeter difference. This is going to happen naturally if you execute your kick serve fundamentals correctly. So do not, under any circumstance, try to let the ball drop. It will result in a bent arm at contact, which will significantly reduce the range of motion. You will not get any power, and you will be forced to hit up, which then in turn will give you almost zero chance to get the ball inside the service line at a higher speed. And if you watched any of my toss videos, you know that I'm a proponent of a higher toss, which gives you several advantages on a serve. And indeed, if we toss the ball higher, we will have to hit it when the toss is falling down. So what you have to manage to do is, while the ball is falling, you need to have full extension of the arm. And it is crucial that you accelerate your serve fast enough so that when you meet the ball, the arm is fully extended at contact. This is true for the flat serve or the kick serve. Now, the next kick serve myth is the lateral ball approach, and let me explain it to you in this way. So when we approach the ball on any serve, the racket, from the acceleration of the racket drop that's executed in unison with many other power sources, from this acceleration, the racket will whip backwards like this. Now, some people believe that on a kick serve, the swing path is more lateral on the approach to the ball. And there's many drills where players will execute a kick serve in this fashion. The racket will have a lateral approach to the ball and then a lateral continuation after the moment of contact. I'm sure you've seen drills where players are kneeling down and then doing a serve like this. This will give you spin. But the problem with this type of serve is that there is indeed a lateral approach to the ball, and you're going to be hitting the ball extremely thin. So you will create topspin, but there's going to be almost no power. It's going to be very difficult to get enough penetration on a kick serve like this. Take another look. I'm going to have a lateral approach to the ball, and I'm getting very little pace. And the reason why a kick serve will result in a lateral approach to the ball when players are doing drills where they're kneeling down or sitting in the chair is that the body is locked. So you're not executing enough momentum with the rest of your body and the racket is not picking up enough acceleration, is therefore approaching the ball very laterally. So what will happen if you execute your kick serve with the correct fundamentals? The racket will naturally accelerate from a backwards position. So when the racket drops, it will not come in this way, it will actually whip out backwards from the acceleration and then have a forward approach to the ball and then a diagonal continuation after the moment of contact. So what you have to do is stay away from drills where the body is locked and where the lateral swing path is most likely to happen because of a lack of acceleration. Naturally, if you execute your kick serve with all the fundamentals, you will get a forward approach towards the ball and therefore impart a lot more power on the kick serve. The next myth is connected to the previous myth, where some players believe that there's a completely lateral movement of the racket after the moment of contact. Now, if you watch my American twist video, this is where I explain that the kick serve has evolved to more of a diagonal swing path, where players are now getting a lot more pace on the serve, therefore resulting in more rotations of the ball. And because of this higher pace, the ball has a tendency to bounce up a little higher, and therefore this serve is called a kick. So if you continue going laterally across the ball, you will hit the ball very thin and you will not get any kick on the serve. You will get spin, so the ball is going to be spinning a lot, but it's going to be absolutely no power on a serve like that, and is therefore not going to help your game. So what you have to do is, again, execute all the kick serve fundamentals correctly and allow the racket to move diagonally into the court in this way. And take a look from this angle. My racket is going to go diagonally into the court. And I'll take a look in slow motion. So when you execute your kick serve in this way, you're going to avoid the thin contact that's going to result in very little power. It can possibly be attacked by your opponent. Your kick serve will have more pace with a diagonal swing path, and it's more viable as a solid second serve that's likely not going to be attacked by your opponent. And finally, and most importantly, is the idea that the kick serve is supposed to be a massive kick or a sick kick. It is often labeled as a power serve, and this is simply not the case. The primary objective of a kick serve is for it to be a solid second serve. This is true even at the elite level. Players such as Djokovic, Nadal, or Federer do not hit their second serves, in other words, kick serves, with a lot of pace. Naturally, when you put spin on the serve, it reduces the power. Also, on a kick serve, we are not generating as much torso rotation as we do on a flat or a slide serve. Therefore, we're losing a big power source. What's so great about the kick serve are the following things. Number one, when you are kicking the ball as a second serve, because the angle of the racket face at contact, we're gonna get a higher trajectory. It's still a downward trajectory, but the ball will have a tendency to fly higher at first and then come down, which will then in turn clear the net at a higher level. So we're very safe from hitting the ball into the net. Also, a kick serve that's executed with the correct fundamentals will also have a tendency to land shorter in the box. Therefore, it's very safe from going long. And because of the amount of rotations we're putting on the ball, we can also freely hit a kick serve. We don't have to be careful. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the tap serves that are very often used at the recreational level as a second serve. This is basically a flat serve that's hit extremely carefully in order for it to go in. You don't have to be careful on a kick serve. You can swing fully out, and naturally there's not going to be a lot of pace. At the elite level, maybe 80 to 90 miles an hour. On the WTA Tour, it's even lower. It's maybe between 60 and 80 miles an hour. And these are sufficient speeds for a second serve, even at the elite level. So you should never ever worry about getting power on your kick serve. Sometimes you can use a kick serve as a change up on a second serve, but even then, naturally the kick serves are going to be a lot slower, and there's absolutely no problem with that, because guess what? If you have a solid kick serve as your second serve, even though the pace might be not that high, when the ball lands on the other side, it's going to have a lot of rotations in it, and it's most likely that the other person is not going to go for a winner. If they do, because the ball is so unpredictable and so lively, they're going to commit a lot of return mistakes and are likely not going to continue doing so. Therefore, forget the idea that you have to develop a massive kick or a sick kick. This doesn't exist. There's very few players that can hit the kick serve at very high speeds. What you need is a solid, reliable second serve, and that is the primary objective of a kick serve.